Whoa, you okay? Oh, you got a runny nose. Say good morning. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Say hi. Say hi, Ashlyn. Good morning, Nina.
Hi, Mommy.
Say hi, baby.
Hi, baby.
Hi, baby. We're having indoor-outdoor twin time. Good morning.
Mommy. No.
Good morning. Yep.
Ma.
Indoor-outdoor babies today. They've discovered the backyard. Oh, it's kind of dark in here. How you guys doing today? Whoops. Let me get situated. We've got Big Magic today. And we're going to let aren't they something? They're so, they're already getting independent. They're already just furious to have diaper changes. And, anything that you do that interrupts their plans, they get pretty pissed off about. Hi, Michelle. At the beginning of the replay is a few seconds of twin action. They're saying good morning now and going in and out of the backyard, so I'm where I can see them. So I'm just shifting some stuff out of the way here. Sorry, that's probably noisy. It's Saturday. Hey, you guys who are following the lost kitten, the lost kitten story, there's a Siamese-specific cat rescue here that can take him on Wednesday. So he'll only have to hang out in the camper for a few days, which is okay. Let's say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Runny nose. Hi. Oh, both of you have runny noses. That's awesome. Say hi. Wave hi. She just stares. Oh gosh, they're cute. Oops. They're so fun. They're in great moods today. Ashlyn makes diaper changes extremely violent. Yeah, hi Elizabeth. How are you? That one's runny nose is kind of driving me nuts. Here, let me just grab this. Oh, gotcha. Ugh. Oh, I just slept on him. It's been a long week. I was up chasing kittens till 10 last night and didn't get to bed till 11. Had to get up at 4. You know, life. Let's read a little. No way, chicken. Here, have some sidewalk chalk. There you go. Go outside. Whoops. Oh, hi, Savannah. Savannah has to follow on Twitter. Hold on, let me get these notifications. Oh, I think that's it. Okay, so the cat has a home, or a foster home, on Wednesday, which gives me an excuse to cuddle him and love on him for a few days. He's the snuggliest, sweetest little boy ever. But Siamese cats, I don't know if you know, they are extremely vocal. Oh my gosh, he's so snuggly and sweet. But they talk all the time. He would drive me nuts. He would drive me nuts more than yeah, they're super loud, and he's very talkative. Well, he hasn't been talking for days. You know, we've been trying to find him. But he got hungry enough last night that he was sitting on the cabin just yelling his head off. So he has eaten and eaten and eaten, and he's sleeping in his crate in the camper today. And so hopefully he'll be fine until I get home. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he's just sleeping. He's exhausted. He's gorgeous. So let's talk about choosing what to trust. Thank you for the hearts and the shares and stuff. I like that combination of peach and brown. That's really beautiful. So last time we were talking about choosing love over suffering and how we can get kind of a romantic idea about suffering if we're creative personality types. And that's, that's garbage, and we don't need to suffer. So she's talking today about choosing what to trust. If you choose to go the other way, if you choose to trust suffering over love, be aware that you're building your house on a battlefield. And when so many people treat their creative process as a war zone, is it any wonder that there are severe casualties? So much despair and darkness at such a cost. I won't even attempt to list the names of all the writers, poets, etc., creative people who have committed suicide in the past century or who died long before their time from that slowest of suicidal tactics, which is alcoholism. Do you want the numbers? The internet will give you the numbers, but believe me, it's a grim reaping. These lost prodigies were unhappy for an infinite variety of reasons, to be sure, though I'm willing to bet that they had all, at least for one flowering moment of their lives, once loved their work. Yet if you'd asked any of these gifted, troubled souls whether they'd ever believed their work loved them in return, I suspect they would have said no. Okay.
Let's go.
Let's see. But why wouldn't... Okay, so she suspects that if they thought that their work loved them back, that they wouldn't have believed that. But why wouldn't it have? This is my question, and I think it's a fair one. Why would your creativity not love you? It came to you, didn't it? It drew itself near. It worked itself into you, asking for your attention and devotion. It filled you with the desire to make and do interesting things. Creativity wanted a relationship with you. Good morning, Angela. That must be for a reason, right? Do you honestly believe that creativity went through all the trouble of breaking into your consciousness only because it wanted to kill you? Creativity as serial killer? Mm-hmm. That doesn't even make sense. How does creativity possibly benefit from such an arrangement? Mm-hmm. When Dylan Thomas dies, there are no more Dylan Thomas poems. That channel is silenced forever terribly. Mm-hmm. I cannot imagine a universe in which creativity would possibly desire that outcome. I can only imagine that creativity would much prefer a world in which Dylan Thomas had continued to live and to produce for a long natural life. Dylan Thomas and 1,000 others besides. Janis Joplin comes to mind, Sylvia Plath. There's a hole in our world from all the art those people did not make. Well, what are you doing there? I cannot imagine this was ever anyone's divine plan. Because think about it. Uh-oh. You okay? It's hard to go in and out of the back door when you're 2 and wearing sandals. She's fine. If the only thing an idea wants is to be made manifest, then why would that idea deliberately harm you when you are the one who might be able to bring it forth? Nature provides the seed, man provides the garden, each is grateful for each other's help. Remember that? It takes two. It takes a team. Is it possible then that creativity is not fucking with us at all, but that we have been fucking with it? I'd have to say probably yes. What's up? You guys getting cold finally? All I can tell you for certain is that my entire life has been shaped by an early decision to reject the cult of artistic martyrdom and instead to place my trust in the crazy notion that my work loves me as much as I love it, that it wants to play with me as much as I want to play with it, and that this source of love and play is boundless. I have chosen to believe that a desire to be creative was encoded in my DNA for reasons I'll never know, and creativity will not go away from me unless I forcibly kick it away or poison it dead. Every molecule of my being has always been pointed toward this line of work. language, storytelling, research, narrative. If Destiny didn't want me to be a writer, then it shouldn't have made me one. But it did make me one, and I've decided to meet that destiny with as much good cheer and as little drama as I can, because how I choose to handle myself... Yes, you can't move the furniture. No, you can't. What do you want, Tina? Hold on. You want your kitchen bucket? Okay, there you go. Here. Come on. Chicken bucket, kitchen bucket. Not chicken bucket. All right. Look at the fun. A whole bucket of kitchen stuff. Dumped, and now one by one we put back in the bucket. So much fun. And she's not thinking of a way to monetize that fun. How can I get paid to dump things out of a bucket and put them back in one at a time? Okay. So I can turn my creativity into a killing field, or I can make it into a really interesting cabinet of curiosities. I can even make it into an act of prayer, and that is, for me, that's the ultimate. When I can get into that zone of drawing or writing and not realizing that the time is passing, to me that's living my life as a prayer, and living that open conduit channel, whatever you want to call it. It's just, isn't it? It's so great. It's the greatest thing ever. It's so refreshing. It doesn't matter if you're tired. When you start, you feel wonderful when you finish. It's great. I really love it. But I need to be better about giving myself the uninterrupted time to do that, which means the camper office is going to be great for me because my work hours bleed into any time I'm awake, and I need to set times to... I used to check email once in the morning, once in the afternoon. If I got Facebook messages during the day, I didn't check them until my email time, and things were a lot more structured. Oh, I love it. I really do. It does smell a little funny, but burning the diffuser, well, not with the kitten in there. The kitten's getting 2 drops of lavender diffused in a full thing because cats respond to lavender really well. And he's had a rough, who knows how long. I mean, his little bones are all sticking out. He's kind of a mouse. So he's got lavender burning in there today. But it's going to help me set better structure. Yeah, and then the corner... Hi, Heath. We were just talking about the office that you made me. The corner that, or the space that used to have my office junk in the house, now I'll have a little more space to draw. Hey, what are you doing? I can't believe you're even picking this up at work. So, I don't know if you guys struggle with that, and I think it's partly a curse of working from home and partly an ADD. Oh, you're cleaning the texturizer? Which means, I don't know. My husband makes carpet. He's a carpet maker person. And then does machine work and stuff. So, and partly it's from having ADD. You try to organize yourself. Yeah, it's really helpful. As much as I resist having a schedule, it helps my overall creative flow. If I have 2 or 3 hours during the day where nothing particular is scheduled, that's a luxury that I have, but I don't often make. Yeah, I'm not doing a great job lately, which may be partly why I'm so exhausted this weekend, of setting times for things. I think Michelle does the Pomodoro method. You have a timer and you set the timer, and it keeps you from getting distracted while you're doing your thing. So if you do that and get your tasks done, then you can open up an hour, 2 hours if you're fortunate to just see what happens. Maybe you just sit and rest. Maybe you watch TV, or maybe you journal. Yeah, exactly. It gives you a break. So when you're letting You know, when you're answering emails and Facebook messages and stuff as they come in, then you never get a break, and it just bleeds. It just bleeds over. It's not healthy. So anyway, making a timer. I'm gonna go get a timer. That's what I'm gonna do today. Yeah, batch work. Putting it, chunks. That way it's not just taking over everything. So what ends up happening for me, work sprawl. Yeah, great way to put it. What ends up happening is then I feel like I'm working 24/7, which isn't accurate. And I'm like, how come I feel like I've been working 80 hours this week? Although I did probably work 60 actual hours this week. Because when you work from home, it's not that you work less. It's just that no one sees you working. You got busted in the bedroom with your phone. That's nice that he holds you accountable, though. Like, what are you doing on your phone in the bedroom? Don't be all crazy and letting that take over your life. It's so hard. When you put your creativity first on a regular basis, your ability to write, your ability to draw or create something fantastic is more available to you because you've trained yourself. This next hour is time to create, and you can say, what wants to happen here? Is there something that wants to come through me? Is there a poem that wants to be written? Is there a short story dying to get out somewhere? If you make a habit and a commitment to that and you show up for that every day, then it starts to become available to you almost on demand. It's not really on demand, but you've set up a regular structure, and it can, if it's going to happen, it can happen. So my ultimate choice then is to always approach my work from a place of stubborn gladness. Stubborn gladness is a good concept too. I worked for years with stubborn gladness before I was published. I worked with stubborn gladness when I was still an unknown new writer whose first book sold just a handful of copies, mostly to members of my own family. I worked with stubborn gladness when I was riding high on a giant bestseller, when I was not riding high on a giant bestseller anymore, and when my subsequent books did not sell millions of copies. I worked with stubborn gladness when critics praised me and when they made fun of me. I've held to my stubborn gladness when my work is going badly and also when it's going well. I don't ever choose to believe that I've been completely abandoned in the creative wilderness, or that there's reason for me to panic about writing. Hang on. They both came in and shut the door. How cute is that? It's really cold outside. They've been outside for like an hour. I don't choose to believe I've been completely abandoned in the creative wilderness, or that there's reason for me to panic about my writing. I choose to trust that inspiration is always nearby the whole time I'm working, trying its damnedest to impart assistance. It's just that inspiration comes from another world, you see, and it speaks a language entirely unlike my own. So sometimes we have trouble understanding each other. But inspiration is still sitting right there beside me, and it's trying. Inspiration is trying to send me messages in every form that it can. Dreams, portents, clues, coincidences, deja vu, kismet, surprising waves of attraction and reaction, through chills that run up my arms, through hairs that stand up on the back of my neck, through the pleasure of something new and surprising, through stubborn ideas that keep me awake all night long. Whatever works, inspiration is always trying to work with me. So I sit there and I work too. That's the deal. I trust it. It trusts me. When people say they're not creative, that just kind of makes me feel violent. Because it's not true. Sometimes if you didn't grow up in a creative family, I was so gifted to have grown up around highly creative people. I mean, we had our problems, but everybody was always making something. It was expected, kind of, that you were going to make stuff. My aunts quilted and made dolls, and my grandfather canned and gardened, and you know, I made stuff with whatever I could get my hands on. My mom sewed, painted, you know, or I don't think she painted much when I was a kid, but drew, and then they made all those decoupage things. Macrame, there was tons of macrame stuff everywhere for a while. Knitting, crocheting, everything. Like anything, my aunts, you know, made bread. We were just super creative people. And my dad was really creative too. So I think that makes it a little bit easier for me, knowing that for me, it's just like, it's just what you do. You make stuff. So, but I know that came from, I wasn't born with it. It came from being trained in my family environment. So I know that people who weren't raised like that, their families didn't make stuff. Everybody can learn to access that creativity and find the value that it can add to your life, but you might have to teach yourself how to do it. It was probably the only reason no one got murdered. Yeah, I'm sure all the angst went into the decoupage cats or the macrame or the quilts or whatever it was for the day. That might come from having a farmer background, where on the farm you had to always be making stuff and there wasn't a lot of options for entertainment. So that might have had something to do with it. Look at this. How cute are they? They're so cute today. You're so cute. What are you doing there? Making raspberry noises? They're really playing well together these days. They went through a phase of kind of punching each other in the head a lot. That was not fun. They're adorable. They're going through a really adorable phase. Which is good, because then that keeps you from giving them away or selling them to gypsies when they're in the awful phase. So choose your delusion. Is this delusional? Is it delusional of me to place infinite trust in a force I cannot see, touch, or prove? A force that might not even actually exist. Okay, for the sake of argument, let's call it totally delusional. But is it 25,000 to a million? That's awesome. I'm getting closer every day. I don't know why the system doesn't count you guys' hearts on the replays, but it doesn't. About once a month, I take Heath's phone and run up hearts on a replay and even play it all the way out to the end, and it doesn't count them. It's very strange. This is so sweet. You guys are so sweet. Oh, sometimes it does. Isn't that bizarre? It's so weird. Is it any more delusional than believing that only you're suffering and your pain? Without FF or RR? I don't know what that means. What does that mean, Tanya?
Hi.
So let's call it delusional.
Stop.
Oh, if you fast forward or rewind, it makes them not count. Well, that's terrible. That kind of defeats the purpose of having that option, because most people don't want to watch. I mean, we all know each other, kind of. I mean, I think we have someone new on here, but, you know, most people want to come hear what we're talking about and not listen to my chitter-chatter about twins and cats and whatever's going on that you guys are up to speed on. And I do that too. If I'm on a scoper and I don't know what they're talking about in the intro, I just skip that part. But that's too bad, because I want my hearts for them to count. Oh well. Oh well. So delusions. Is it any more delusional than believing that only your suffering and your pain are authentic, or that you are alone, that you have no relationship whatsoever with the universe that created you? Or that you have been singled out by destiny as specially cursed, or that your talents were given to you for the mere purpose of destroying you? What I'm saying is this, and this is important. If you're going to live your life based on delusions, and you are, because we all do, then why not at least select a delusion that's helpful? Allow me to suggest this one. The work wants to be made, and it wants to be made through you. When I was trying to get a grip on the constant chronic storylines I had in my head all the time a few years ago, I used to tell myself all the time, if you're going to tell yourself stories all day long, can they be nicer stories? Why do they always have to be negative stories? Why does it always have to be such a downer? Can you can tell stories, tell nice stories. It didn't work, by the way. I still had to listen to the negative ones because they didn't shift until I accepted them. Yeah, it doesn't matter if herbs are a placebo. It doesn't matter to me if essential oils are a placebo. They might be. I don't know. There are measurable physical effects. There's research out there for them. But even if it is just a placebo, I don't really care. Are you getting results? Good enough. Placebo effect can be measured in the body. If people are given sugar pills for a particular condition, the particular condition is positively impacted if they believe it's going to be, which just says to me further proof of the power of our own mind and what we expect. If we expect taking the pill is going to make us feel better, we generally feel better, which means it really is in our control. And if we could believe that, if we could accept that, then we could turn that placebo effect on and off for ourselves. And speaking of that, Lissa Rankin, if you don't know who she is, it's Lissa, and her last name is Rankin, Rankin. I think she's just written her second book. And she talks a lot about the medical profession. She was a medical doctor who was losing her mind and felt the call of spirit and to do more with her physician's background. And so now I think she wrote Mind Over Medicine or something, which was a good book. And then her current book is about working more with the body and spirit, and still, it's kind of utilizing the best of both worlds. Like, let's use the medical, I hate to say traditional because it's not really true. It's not, the actual medical field is not that old in comparison to plants and oils and foods and stuff. That door's open, and instead of screaming, you could just pull it. Problem solve. Come on, baby primate. You can do it. Problem solve it. Western medicine, thank you. Allopathic, perfect. I hate to say traditional because it feels wrong. You can't get it? All right, well, you tried. Here. Allopathic, Western medicine. And there's advantages to it. If something goes wrong on my insides, I want a well-qualified surgeon to take care of that for me. I don't want, I don't want an oil for a failing pancreas. If I need surgery, I want surgery. So it would be nice, and I think we're moving toward that, and she's talking about this, the balance of using what's best of both of those worlds, energy work, oils, acupuncture, Reiki, all that stuff, and having the advantage of medical stuff too, while we are utilizing the power of the body and mind combination. So Lissa Rankin is a good one to check out. Yeah, nobody wants herbs for a broken ankle. Okay, I'm going to read one more and not push my luck with the quiet little girls we've got going on. Yeah. Are you okay? You're just randomly whining in the backyard? The martyr versus the trickster. In order to let go of the addiction to creative suffering, you must reject the way of the martyr and embrace the way of the trickster. That's interesting. We all have a bit of trickster in us, and we all have a bit of martyr in us. Okay, some of us have a lot of martyr in us. But at some point, your creative journey in your creative journey, you will have to make a decision about which camp you wish to belong to. Do you want to be in the martyr camp or the trickster camp? Therefore, and therefore, which parts of yourself you choose to nourish, cultivate, and bring into being, and choose carefully. As my friend, the radio personality Carolyn Casey, always says, better a trickster than a martyr be. What's the difference between a martyr and a trickster, you ask? Here's a quick primer. Martyr energy is dark, solemn, macho, hierarchical, fundamentalist, austere, unforgiving, and profoundly rigid. Trickster energy is light, sly, transgender, transgressive. Hold on. No, what? What are you doing? What are you doing? Uh-oh. She got herself stuck on a kitchen chair. You know, sometimes you get up on a chair and you can't get off the chair. Oh, God, yes. Martyrs I think, have been revered in all religions at some point or another. So now we got one shoe on and one shoe off. Oh, well. She'll stay on the patio. And this, she's talking about in relation to creativity, but there's political martyrs, religious martyrs, and some people didn't want to be martyrs. Oh, they're like, well, it's different. If you're martyring yourself for Jesus, or you're martyring yourself for your peer group. Political martyrs. Political martyrs are just people who've died in a political cause, and then the remainder of people use that enthusiasm to make their death into a tool, sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. I would almost say victim. I mean, I don't know. There's a difference between a martyr and a victim, too. I don't really know. Anyway, trickster energy is light, sly, transgender, transgressive, animist, seditious, primal, and endlessly shape-shifting. Martyr says, I guess she's going to explain it to us. Martyr says, I will sacrifice everything to fight this unwinnable war, even if it means being crushed to death under a wheel of torment. Trickster says, oh, okay, you enjoy that? As for me, I'll be over here in this corner running a successful little black market operation on the side of your unwinnable war. Martyr says life is pain. Trickster says life is interesting. Martyr says the system is rigged against all that is good and sacred. Trickster says there is no system, everything is good and nothing is sacred. Martyr says nobody will understand me. Trickster says pick a card, any card. Martyr says the world can never be solved, and Trickster says perhaps not, but it can be gained. Martyr says through my torment the truth shall be revealed, and Trickster says I didn't come here to suffer, pal. That's kind of how I feel now. Martyr says death before dishonor, and Trickster says let's make a deal. Let's negotiate. Martyr always ends up dead in a broken heap of glory, while Trickster trots off to enjoy another day. Martyr equals Sir Thomas More. Trickster equals Bugs Bunny. That's a great way to explain it. I would much rather be Bugs Bunny. I definitely think there's parts. I definitely can see that I've gone back and forth between those two, and I would definitely say I'm much more in the Bugs Bunny camp these days. Because one of my favorite supervisors, her name is Terry Livermore, she and I both had the attitude of how hard can it be? Like, we faked our way into jobs. She was my supervisor and kind of had how hard could it be attitude, and that's how she ended up in her job. And I had ended up in my job by reading the job description and going, how hard could it be? And applying for it and getting it. But we didn't have any idea what we were doing. We were just like, yeah, it can't be that hard. I mean, how hard could it be? You can ask that of a lot of things when you're wanting to make a decision. How hard could it be? And are the consequences irreversible? Most consequences of risk-taking are reversible if you screw it up. And you're better off taking that chance to screw something up than to just, play it safe your whole life. Because in the screw-ups, a lot of fun happens, and you learn an awful lot, and then you have better stories when you're 90. I want to have good stories when I'm 90. And you get better stories if you will let yourself make mistakes and go on adventures. And tattoos can even be undone. Although I hear it's a really painful process. I would still vote for taking the risk on getting a tattoo, even if it turns out that you don't like it later. Because it's awful fun. And I probably better go. One of the twins is quiet. That means two things. She's getting into trouble or she's filling her diaper. Both of which probably require attention. So, enjoy your Saturday. My Saturday is going to be a lot easier knowing that the little kitten we found has a foster home and an agency to go to on Wednesday. Yeah, they're up to something. Everyone knows when kids get quiet. As long as they're noisy, you can ignore them. Oh, they're just walking around in the yard. I'll give you another shot of their cuteness. They're so cute running around in the backyard. Let me turn this around. Oh, maybe it won't let me. There you go. I know, I'm so excited. It's called the Secondhand Siamese. It's in Flowery Branch, Georgia. And she's out of town, but she immediately said, oh my gosh, yes, I can take him on Wednesday. Yay! The kitty's going to a Siamese specialty. Yay! Yay, kitty. Girls, say bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye. She's waving as she walks away. This is the fence that we put up. The dogs have that part of the yard. And we put up our redneck fencing system here so that they could have this side of the yard. And here's our one shoe kid. All right, you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you later. I bet these guys take great naps. Love you too. Have a wonderful Saturday. You're welcome. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Oops. Are you singing? You're welcome. Bye.